us who you are and who you represent?
Jamie Pedersen from the 43rd Legislative District in Central Seattle.
So what's the status of the Domestic Partnership Bill?
The Domestic Partner Bill passed out of the Senate about a week and a half ago on a 30-18 vote, and it is now in the House Judiciary Committee, which I chair. We're having a public hearing on it next Monday and expect to pass the bill out.
Tell us about the homeowner protections recently passed by the House.
The House this year took action on a bill that has been before the legislature for a long time that will give protections to people who buy new homes and who do substantial remodels of their existing homes. Right now we've had this anomaly in the law that you get more protections as a consumer if you buy a toaster or a car than for the major purchase of your lifetime, a home. This will make sure that when a builder sells you a home that there are some minimum warranties that you get and that subsequent purchasers get within the time periods. And most of the warranties that you'll get are insured warranties, so that even if the builder goes out of business, which has been a real problem, that there's somebody to stand behind the warranties and make sure that you're made whole in your home.
What happened to your bill to better protect patient privacy?
One of the best stories of the session is actually about a bill that hasn't moved forward. That's House Bill 1493. We found out just after it passed out of the House Healthcare Committee that the federal government had actually passed a law that closed this bad loophole in the federal patient privacy law. Up till now, it had been legal for pharmacies to sell your patient identifying information to drug companies so that they could market alternative drugs to you. The federal government, without anything other than sort of the prompting, I guess, of our looking into this issue, included in the economic stimulus package a provision that closes that loophole. And boy, what a difference it makes to have good partners in Washington, D.C. rather than opponents.
You're pushing hard to extend more support for former foster kids. How so?
I actually came just now from a hearing over in the Senate on a bill that makes some little changes to a program that I helped to establish 2 years ago called the Independent Youth Housing Program. Right up until we passed that program, when foster youth aged out of care at age 18, a lot of them were just handed a black hefty bag and were set on their own. Now, some of these kids have just been through horrible stories. The two youth who just testified, one of them had had 10 foster placements, another one had been in foster care since she was 5, and it had been in 54 different homes. So they haven't experienced a lot of permanency in their lives. This program gives them housing and a way to have some stability as they make the transition to being independent adults. And it's a program that's in jeopardy because of the state of the budget. The point of the bill was to make a few tweaks based on how the program's been implemented over the last couple of years, and also to give the kids a chance to get in front of the legislators and tell the story about why the program ought to be preserved.
What's your take on the Basic Education Reform Bill 2261?
Education is our paramount duty, and I'm really hopeful that by revisiting for the first time in 30 years the definition of basic education, looking at that a little bit more expansively to include all-day kindergarten, early learning opportunities, larger number of credits, and getting kids ready for the next step in their education, that we're going to make a substantial difference for all of the kids in Washington Public Schools, which are the vast majority of our kids, and improve the quality of that experience. I think that is, in many ways, the most important work that we're doing this session, and I'm really proud that the House passed 2261. Looking forward to moving that legislation along through the process and getting it to the governor's desk.
Great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.